Rachel, thank you for joining me today on Pop Culture Unplugged.
Thank you for having me, Elias. I'm very happy to be here.
Exciting times, fellow Greek. We have the Greek Mothers Never Die premiering at Los Angeles Greek Festival. How excited are you that people are going to see this film?
I'm very excited, and especially, well, to share it with a public that is Greek American, because there is a lot of jokes, a lot of cultural
Yeah.
things that they will recognize, and of course, it's a universal story, so you don't need to be Greek or half Greek, or Mediterranean to get in sync with the story. But there are a lot of little winks, so I'm
Uh,
very happy to show that.
what
Yes.
inspired you to tell to tell this story? It was how did you come up with this idea?
It was my mother.
Okay.
So I know some people will watch the movie and say, "Oh, she did like the stereotypical Greek mother."
Yeah.
But for me, it is not a stereotype. It's just my mom. It's and I actually don't play her. She's
Okay.
way more dramatical in real life, and she was always very colorful and very overbearing. And so when I was when I was younger and I wanted to be an actress, she wanted me to take over the Greek restaurant, and she was at the same time giving me so much love, but suffering and guilt and everything. And so my friends told me, hey, you have to do something. You have to write something about your mom. And why don't you make a one-woman show about her? And you got to make people laugh about all this craziness. And so that's exactly what I did. And so it started as a one-woman show, and I was playing both roles. But at the time, I was assimilating myself more to the role of the daughter.
Okay.
And then, with the time, I say, okay, now it's time to take it to the next level, to make it cinematographical, to push a little bit the barometers, and now to create a scenario where it gets even worse because the mom is actually a ghost. So there is no sleeping time, and she's all the time behind her
Yeah.
shoulder's daughter. And so that's how I came out with Greek Mothers Never Die.
Mm. You said the ghost. Was there a specific moment or a memory that sparked the idea for for Despina's ghost to continue to haunt Ella? Like, how did you come up with that idea where you wanted I'm gonna make a ghost and I'm gonna haunt him?
It was probably because my mom did something to me, and and I had no privacy, and
Mm,
at the same, but really no privacy. Like my door had no key. My letter,
yeah.
I was 24 years old, and my phones were checked, things under the
Oh
bed was
yeah.
checked, and one day I think I was in my bed, I was thinking, no, she's asleep. And then I started thinking, okay, what if
Yeah.
she was not asleep anymore? And but so it was probably something like that. But also, I have to say that I was always a very big fan of supernatural movies.
Okay.
That's how I grew up with. I mean, that's the kind of movie I grew up with. And there is something, everything that has something magical, whimsical, something also that gives a lot of hope that there is something after is something that
Mm,
sticks loud to me. And so I thought I would combine, at the same time, this genre of movie that I love, and at the same time, put the character of the daughter in the worst possible situation. That was,
mm,
even
yeah.
after the death of the mom, she comes back as a ghost. But
Mm,
obviously, it's not. I mean, the fact that she is a ghost is also here to speak about something very important, that is
mm,
loss, really,
yeah.
and how everyone deals with loss. And I wanted to just give a hopeful way of treating loss in that movie. So it's a
Mm.
combination.
Yeah, I can definitely see that. So you wore multiple hats for this, writer, director, acting in it. How did you bounce from one position to another? Like, how did you direct yourself, with because you have a lot of layers in this role also.
Yes, it was very schizophrenic, I have to say, to have a lot of hats, but it was also wonderful. And I think that the fact that I was producing, I mean, I was not the only producer, but
Yeah.
I was also, it was my company, Rat Pictures, that was really that was putting all that together, and also directing all the actors, which is something I love to do, is something that gave me very, very, very little time to think
Mm,
about myself. And maybe that was one of the best thing. you know, because sometimes when something is very important to you, when you are like, okay, this is the role of my life, I have to, you give it spin and thoughts and thoughts and thoughts, how to make it good. And sometimes you can get lost in that. And I had no time. That means I gave myself 30 minutes to think about the role.
Okay.
And I casted myself. I asked, sorry for my dog that goes.
That's okay.
I casted myself and I asked Asia, my 10-year-old daughter, who also plays in the movie. She plays young Ella. I asked her if she could give me the line, and I thought, okay, if I like what I see, and if my co-producer likes it too, well, then I'll jump, I'll go for it. And if I don't like it, and if I'm not the best vision of what I envisioned for the role, I won't do it. So it was
Mm,
really a real casting. And so the only hard part was to bring everything down because I had played my mom, but in one woman show for theater, so everything is more expanded,
yeah.
right? It was to bring her down and to imagine how she would sound if she knew how to speak English.
Mm,
And so I did it spontaneously, facing my daughter. So it was not that hard. And I liked it. My co-producers say, I think you look good. I think that's the role. I think you should go for it. I also showed it to my husband, who is he's also associate producer. And I said to him, don't you think I look too young though for the role? And he said to me, no, I don't think so. You're perfect. I was like, okay, and I guess I'll
yeah.
just do it. So
There you
that was how I directed myself during those 30 minutes. And then it was just honestly instinct, when I was
go.
saying action, and then I was dropping the the little helmet, and I was just, going for it.
Mm. How excited was it that your daughter was in the movie also, and you would get to work with her?
It was wonderful. It's our
Mm.
best moments together because
Yeah.
we share the same passion. I actually asked her yesterday what she I mean what she was thinking about acting. If for her it was a passion, a hobby, what how she would position herself. And she said,
Mm.
"No, karate is a hobby that I love, because she just got her green belt." Yeah. And so she said, acting is just my job, That's what I'm going to do in
Mm.
life. So it's not a hobby. I was like, okay. And so because we have that same passion, and she also likes to direct, and she writes, and so it brings us always closer. And it was really funny when we played in that scene with the actor, that plays my husband and her dad. She looked at me in one point. She said, "Mom, I feel I'm cheating on dad right now." I said, "That's okay. Don't worry, me too." It was really, and of course, her dad was filming everything, with
Yeah.
the little camera for the making of. So we just, it's bringing us closer. But she
Mm.
also says to me, "See that mom? It's exactly how you are when you are like Vespina, your character." And
Mm.
she made me take conscience that I looked more like my mom than I thought.
Mm. So what about like for the casting for like Ella and Nick? How did you go about that? What were you looking for when you were casting those two?
For Nick, I already knew
Yeah.
him because he was the lead role in my first movie,
Okay.
the Trust Liaison. So that was the completely opposite. It was a Netflix original. It was a big studio movie, and that's how I started. And I had an artistic love for him as soon as I saw his casting, and I knew that. I mean, for that first role, for that first movie, and I knew that after working with him and understanding each other so well,
Yeah.
I knew he would be Nick, very
Mm.
early, and so it was easy to we know each other so well. And for Ella, it was a whole different thing because I needed to find an actress that is talented, that is charismatic, that knows how to make evolve herself, her character, this charisma that she has from the beginning to the movie to the end, and also that can look 15 and can look 27. So it was a lot, and that could be my daughter. And so we casted through backstage a lot of girls that applied, and they were wonderful. But I only had one callback, and it was her, and
Mm.
it was amazing. We worked in Zoom because she's from Oklahoma, and
Okay.
so for 1 month we worked and worked and worked and developed a relationship. And really, I got to meet her for the first time 2 days before the shoot. And during those 2 days, we had to record the music. So it was very intense, but it went wonderfully. I wouldn't change that for the world. She was
Yeah.
awesome.
So what do you hope like when the audience tunes in? What do you hope they get out of this film?
Oh, I hope that it's a movie that people are going to watch twice
Okay.
because there are a lot of things a lot of different way of reading this movie. And it's a movie that has a lot of informations, a lot of things happen. It's like an odyssey. It's over 25 years. It moves very fast through time,
Hmm.
but it's very charged emotionally. And I think that I hope that's the kind of movie that people will watch and say, the first time I liked it, I feel warm inside, I feel
Hmm.
good, I feel warm, I feel hopeful, I had good laugh. And you know what? I want to call my mom right now. So I think that will be the first thing, and that then they'll say, you know what? I watched it a second time and I even liked it better. That's what
Hmm.
I'm hoping.
Yeah. Well, like the Greek heritage is the Greek people, they're gonna tune in, they're gonna watch this. You know this already. Do you hope like someday you're gonna tell another Greek story or something similar or like like a I don't want to use the word spin-off or anything like that, but like maybe a whole different story. Do you have plans for that?
Everything you said, yes.
Yeah.
Because first of all, there is a possibility of spin-off
Yeah.
because I have to say that I thought that Ella, that was so judging with her mom, the
Yeah.
day that her daughter is going to be a teen, things could go south, and maybe she'll need the help of a little ghost there interventionist.
Hmm.
So that could be a really cool sequel. If there is a demand, I mean, if there is a demand, there'll be an offer for sure. It's
Hmm.
already in my mind. And I mean, I do different kind of movies. I'm interested in a lot of different genre and
Yeah.
different cultures in general. But I have this one thing with promoting Greek culture. I
Yeah.
mean, bringing together Greek culture, but also my love for American culture and pop
Yeah.
culture. And so there is another movie that now I'm starting to prep that I hope to shoot in the fall, and it's called The Americans, and it's also with this Greek element in it,
Okay.
but American heroes and I mean Greek Americans. We're working on that right now. It's a very fun movie.
Mm. What night is the film premiering it for the festival for this one?
So it will be the 31 of May at
Okay.
6 o'clock at the Sunset Landmark.
Okay.
And it will be awesome if folks could come. It
So
will
are
be
you
great.
excited? I'm sure you're going to be there. Are you excited for that? You can't wait.
Yeah, yeah, I'm going to be there. I'm not going to lie. I know that at the same time, there is the Costa Gavras movie and
Yeah.
discussion with Oliver Stone. But I'm thinking, some people would love to be there and hear that, and other people are just going to want to watch a romantic comedy, supernatural, that is about Greek culture. So I
Mm.
think that there is room for everything, and I'm really hopeful that I'll see a lot of folks there, and that we're going to have a great night. Yes.
Mm. Now the movie's available to stream, right? Did I read that somewhere?
It's not on. So we had a little theatrical release that was really
Okay.
cool, and now it's on demand exclusively until the fall. And that means you can rent or buy on different platforms, any
Okay.
platform like Apple TV, Video Prime, Amazon, Vimeo, Apple Fandango,
Yeah.
YouTube. So it makes things easy. And I think that after that first exclusive window, then if everything goes well, it could be streamed on like Hulu, Netflix, all
Yeah.
those things. Yes.
Hopefully some in Greece also.
We're working on that right now.
Yeah.
We're talking with distributors there, and our premiere was in Greece, our
Yeah.
world premiere, and I had a really good feedback, and that was very important for me because I wrote this movie for Greek Americans, people. I mean,
Yeah.
people that left their country
Yeah.
for a better life here, and I was hoping that it would be well received from Greeks first that live in Greece,
Yeah.
and it was great. So that made me very happy.
Amazing. Rachel, I want to good luck with the film. I hope I hear
Thank you.
positive things in the next few days, and we'll have to get you back on for the next project.
I would love that. I was so pleased to speak with another Greek American
Yeah.
fellow, and it made me super happy. So thank you for having me, Elias. Thank you.
Thank you. Thank you.